Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava, page 99b, top of the page, with the words Mishum Chashad Yishtoi. It was talking about Rabbi Lezer's opinion on why a homeowner constructs a lock, and it says due to suspicion that the owner of the cistern might enter the house at a time when the owner of the house is not present, and thereby be secluded in the house together with the homeowner's wife. Okay? Mishnah, new Mishnah. Mish yesh lo gina lifnim miginaso shel chaveroi nichnas b'shosh derech b'nei adam nichnasim v'yoytzi b'shosh derech b'nei adam yoytzin ve'enoi machnis v'toich tagorin ve'lo yikones mitoicho shelo yisode acheres ve'achitoin zorea es haderech. The Mishnah says one who has ownership of a garden located beyond the garden of another and also has access rights to it may enter his garden only at a time when it is usual for people to enter, and may leave only at a time when it is usual for people to leave. Furthermore, he may not bring merchants into his garden, and he may not enter the garden solely in order to use it as a passageway to enter from it into another field, and the owner of the outer garden may sow the path leading to the inner garden. Nasnu loy derech min hasad v'dashnehen nichnas b'shah shehu roitze v'yoytze b'shah shehu roitze u'machnis l'soichas tagorin v'lo yikones mitoich l'soich soder acheres ze v'ze einan rashoim lezoicho. If the court gave him an access path from one side of the outer garden with the agreement of both of them, he may enter at a time he wants and leave at any time he wants, and may bring merchants into the inner garden, but he may still not enter the garden solely in order to enter from it into another field. In such a case, neither this one, the owner of the inner garden, nor that one, the owner of the outer garden, is permitted to supply the side path. That's the Mishnah. The Gemara says, Amar Yehuda Mashmuel, Amar Beis HaShulochin, Ein Ani Moichelach. Noisin lo shtei amois lesoicha, va'amar mikan, va'amar mikan, liakape. Amar Beis HaKiloin, Ani Moichelach, noisin lo yama achas lesoicha, v'chatz yama mikan, v'chatz yama mikan, liakape. Agape. The Gemara says, Rabbi Yehuda says, that Shmuel says, if a field owner says to another, I'm selling you from my land a water channel fit for bringing water to an irrigated field, he is required to give him land to keep it wide for the inside of the channel, and 1 cubit on this side, and 1 cubit on that side for its banks. If he said to him, I am selling you a shaduf channel, that's a kilon, I guess, he is required to give him land 1 cubit wide for the inside of the channel, and 1/2 cubit on this side, and 1/2 cubit on that side for its banks. Ve'oisan agapayim mizaram Rav Yehuda Mashmuel Baal Asadeh Zaram Rav Nachman Mashmuel Baal Asadeh no ta'am Man de amar zoram kol shke no ta'am uman de amar no ta'am amar zoram lo. The Gemara asks, and with regard to those banks, who has permission to sow them? Yehuda says that Shmuel says the field owner may sow them with vegetables or crops. Nachman says that Shmuel says the field owner may plant them with trees. The Gemara elaborates. The one who says that the field owner may sow them holds that all the more so he may plant them with trees. And the one who says that he may plant them with trees holds that he may only plant trees, but sowing them with other plants is not permitted. This is because the roots perforate the ground, which weakens it and cause damage to the water channel. Ve'amar Rav Yehuda Mashmuel, Amas hamayim shekulo agapeya מתקנה מאוס השדה וידוע שלא קלו אגפיה אלא באויס השדה. And the Rabbi Yehuda says that Shmuel says with regard to a water channel whose banks collapsed. The owner of the channel may repair it with earth from that field through which the chamber runs, even though the field does not belong to him. It is permitted because it is known that when its banks collapsed, the earth at the banks were made from spread only into that surrounding field. Maskevlov popo velemole miain ashpolech le'arech ashpeluha le'arech אלא אומר רב פופו שעל מנס כן קיבל עליו בעל השדה. Rav Papa objects to this, but let the field owner say to the owner of the channel, your water in your channel carried away your earth from your banks, so you have no right to take earth from my field. Rather, Rav Papa said that he may repair the banks with earth from the field because when the field owner sold the rights to the channel, he accepted that condition upon himself. Okay. Weiter. New Mishnah. Mishnah says, Misho said der harabim mover satzach sadehu not rabinasan lahem min hatzad mashin nasan nasan shloi lohigiyoim. In a case of one who had a public thoroughfare passing through his field, and he appropriated it and instead gave the public an alternative thoroughfare on the side of his property, the halacha is that the thoroughfare that he gave them, and they may use it, but the original thoroughfare that he took for himself has not reached him, meaning that he cannot appropriate it for his personal use. Derech hayachid arba amois, derech haram sheish esrei amois, derech hamelech ein lo shiur, derech hakever ein lo shiur, hamawet dayone tzipore amor beis arba kabim. The standard width of a private path is 4 cubits. If a field owner sells the right to pass through his field to an individual without specifying the width of the path, he must provide him with a path of 4 cubits wide. The standard width of a public thoroughfare is 16 cubits. The standard width of a public thoroughfare is 16 cubits. Derech harabim sheishes re'ama. Rishus harabim. Derech harabim sheishes re'ama. Derech hamelech nashir. Okay. The width of a king's thoroughfare has no maximum measure, as the king may appropriate whatever width thoroughfare he wishes. The width of the path for the burial procession to a grave has no maximum measure. With regard to the practice of standing and comforting the mourners following a funeral, the judges of Sipori said that the standard requisite size is the area required for sowing 4 kav of seed. Gemara. Now the Talmud says, that's the end of the Mishnah. Now it's the Gemara. The Gemara asks, Amai sheloi lohigioi linkoit pazro v'li tev shema mino lo yavedin ishdin l'nafshe afilu makam seido. The Gemara asks, why does the Mishnah rule that the public thoroughfare that the landowner took for himself has not reached him? If by making the exchange the original thoroughfare now belongs to him, let him take a stick, a parza, and sit on the thoroughfare and physically prevent anyone from passing through. Apparently, the sages did not permit him to do so. The Gemara suggests, does it follow that one can conclude from the Mishnah's ruling that a person may not execute judgment for himself even in circumstances where refraining from acting will cause him a loss? This would contradict the accepted halacha that he may do so. Aved inish dina nafshe. Aved inish dina lenafshe. Can a person take the law into his own hands? Can a person take a law into his own hands? Lie, 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 lie. Der Rabim 16 amois. Azoi zok the Mishneh. 1702 is 208.55. 208.55. I have it Atbash 1182 and Albam 1106. 1182. Albam 1106. Nice. Bava Batra 99b. We also deal with ideas of Inadila Nafshe. Okay, let's continue. I feel like I'm saying a person may not. Should we conclude that a person may not execute judgment himself, even in a case of even in circumstances where refraining from acting will cause him a loss? This would contradict the accepted halacha that one may do so. Gzera shemiyite lahem derech akalosoin. Hamishach shemishmei derav amar bedoisen lahem derech akalosoin. Rav Zvid said in the name of Rava, although generally one may do so, in this case the sages issued a decree prohibiting it, lest he give them a circuitous route that will lengthen the distance the public will have to travel. Rav Misharshi said in the name of Rava that the ruling of the Mishnah applies only where he actually gives them a circuitous route instead of the original straight thoroughfare. But one may exchange a public thoroughfare for an equally straight thoroughfare, appropriating the original for his personal use.